Welcome to the Fellowship of the Script, the podcast where we dive deep into the craft struggles and stories of filmmaking. I'm your host, Derek J. Bowder.
And I'm your other host, Ben Escobar.
Today we're breaking down one of the most important parts of pre-production, how to hire a cast and crew.
That's right, because the team obviously makes the movie better, not just you on your own. And obviously the wrong team makes everything harder. We've talked about this a lot in other episodes, but we're going to get a little bit deeper into it today.
Yeah, this is especially important for indie filmmakers who are working with limited time and money, and we're going to get into it. We're going to kind of give, I would say, like a flyby overview of all this stuff, because I think you can break down cast and crew into two separate topics, because they both kind of have their own, needs and concerns to address before you lock them in. But before we get into this, be sure to subscribe on Spotify so you get notified every time we drop a new episode. It also helps the podcast grow, so we would greatly appreciate it. And also, just so you guys know, I am very tired right now because we are like knee deep into pre-production on around midnight, less than 2 weeks till we shoot. And yeah, very exciting. Talk more about that later.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's kind of get into it from the top, I guess, from an actor standpoint. This is a huge conversation to have, but like hiring your cast is a definitely difficult part at times. And if you've never done it before, it's very, very easy to overthink and be afraid of, especially when you think of like holding auditions, when you think of like, how do you even find the actors? How do you like, what resources are there for that? But we can kind of get into that. And I think before you need the cast, you need to have clarity though of what you need. So,
yeah. And I mean, this entails a lot of things, whether you're the writer or you're the casting director for a project, or you're the director and you have final say. So that, some of the questions you need to ask yourself when you're looking at casting a character is, who is the character? What aspects of the character are flexible? Does it have to be a specific age? Does it have to be a specific gender? Does it, there's a bunch of things to take into consideration before locking in auditions. You got to know what you're looking for. But, it's also important to go in knowing or letting your casting director, or if you're the writer, letting the director know, hey, these are the non-negotiables. These things, if you overlook these things, then the character won't work. So don't figure it out later, because that will cost you time later on.
That's right. Also got to just know, what kind of asks are you making from this person? How confident are you in doing that? And yeah, you got to be flexible with the role, and you're never going to get that perfect person in your head. Sometimes maybe you do land on that, but you got to meet people where they're at pretty often. So to kind of go into like auditions versus offers here, auditioning is actually not as complicated as it seems, and you could do a lot of that remote now. It used to be a primarily in-person thing, obviously pre-pandemic, and they still do that here and there. But I would say, depending on the environment where you're at, if you do film school, you'll probably do a couple in-person auditions, and that's just kind of sitting in a room and you got a line of people out the door and you're the guy on the other side of the desk and everyone's trying their ass off, and it's a really awkward thing. I don't want to fucking like sugarcoat that. It's extremely awkward. It's also extremely awkward still doing it behind a screen. There's like casting sites like backstage.com. And if you're an aspiring actor yourself, it takes nothing out of you to like set up an account on there. I do believe it's paid, but it is worth it to like, get your basics on there and get your headshot, get your like voice reel, get your like sample, whatever footage you have of yourself, and just kind of blind fire submitting yourself to projects, because sometimes you might be a perfect fit for someone. But you really need control and chemistry once you have sort of auditioned that person. I know it's hard to do without it being in person on a self-tape, but how you do a callback, how you message them back and forth, and direct them to do revisions if you need revisions is important. And also giving them direction up front for their self-tape. But And then of course,
That is
yeah,
something I definitely think I could work on more. Is I'll tend to be like, oh, here's the sides. You know, they have no context, which actually I think is interesting. I think it's a really good test
yes,
of an actor, how seriously they take it on the first round, because a
yes,
lot of times they don't have direction. And yeah, I've there's been times where I'm like, oh, I don't know if this person's right for it. Let me give them direction and see how much it changes. And then boom, all of a sudden it's like, oh, there it was. They just needed direction.
yes.
So, you know, have some grace. I think you're gonna have, you know, less actors to work with, the you know, depending on how early on in your career you are. Um how few actors, you know. I tend to I mean, I think most people tend to cast from a pool of people they know first, and then if they can't find what they're looking for in that pool, then they put out kind of like a general audition notice. um but you know, it really comes down to reliability and talent, and reliability tends to outweigh talent, because you can have an 8 out of 10 actor who's prepared, and then there's a 10 out of 10 actor who doesn't show up prepared, and that's going to create more delays. So you want to look for somebody who's on time. They get their auditions in on time. They know their lines. You know, they're not stumbling through it and just changing the words constantly. They should put in some effort, unless it's a quick turnaround and you're like, hey, you can have the sides in your hand. You don't have to be word perfect. But then when you you know, hop in a call and kind of maybe you do a live audition over. Yeah, I've never done that, but I've been a part of that on the actor side, where you do it over kind of like a Zoom call or one of those live casting calls. And you know, do they take notes? Do they have professional energy? Do they look like they just hopped out of bed and didn't do their hair and all that stuff for this? You know, how seriously are they taking it? Because how serious they take it is what keeps the days moving when you're on set and you need your actor to perform in a timely manner.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Also the way you present yourself online, like through your profile,
Yeah.
um, on Backstage or literally anything, if you're, you know, trying to present yourself as an actor that's like reachable, I mean, anything is everything is a stage at that point. Everything is backstage. Like your Instagram needs to really reflect that professionalism. Your TikTok needs to, everything, like down to like your LinkedIn and stuff. It's like important, and it just adds up because you just feel it. You stand out differently from other actors, because you'd be surprised how many people don't maintain a constant state of professionalism. And you know, there's a reason why it's professional. It's satisfying to look at, and it's like always reliable, and that's what people want these days. So
Yeah. Again, we could do a whole episode on picking actors and the whole audition process, but character first. That's what I always say. And yeah, professionalism. I guess we'll get into hiring a crew now. So, you know, every production is gonna have to have specific positions to even do it. You need a sound guy. You need somebody to shoot with the camera. You're probably the director, so you need that. Um, and then there's, you know, department heads like the first AD, production designer. I mean, there could be a freaking literally like 1,000 jobs on a film set, but there's those basic department heads that you need, which are the DP, otherwise referred to as director of photography, or the cinematographer. The first AD is the one who, you know, depending on if you are on a set that has a second AD, a second AD will essentially assist the first AD with like scheduling and all that stuff. But if not, if you just have the first AD, they're handling the schedule, and on set, you know, they are keeping you on time. They're keeping track of how much time you have left for that specific shot, and telling you, hey, we got to move on when you're like, no, I want more. But you know, that's their job, is to be timekeeper. And also call sheets. Call sheets are important. People need to know when to show up the next day if you're shooting the next day. But I mean, these department heads, they help you build the rest. You know, a DP is going to help you find your first AC, your second AC, maybe a DIT, so on and so on. You know, it's kind of like a tree, and these people are the trunk, and then they extend, and they're the branches that, you know, make up your crew.
that's right.
Think of it as hiring managers, not just technicians.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's about relationships.
Yeah. And oftentimes, like, the talent isn't enough. Yeah, you need that. but the attitude and like
Yeah.
the stress management, calm people, problem solvers, people with low ego, that's like a true professional. Because there are some people that have beautiful, beautiful resumes and then are just very difficult people to work with, or like just tough under pressure. But I will say I've noticed a correlation, like the better their work is, the better they are as people, because they just wouldn't be given those opportunities to make good work, because they don't, you don't just own a lot of that equipment and that a lot of the resources to just make something very powerful on your resume. It takes a whole team. It means you were invited to be a part of a big team that is built on success, and so they've technically passed a lot of bars there already. But one bad attitude does spread fast, and you gotta be aware of that. You gotta catch that while you're ahead, and sometimes it hits you out of nowhere, and you gotta you gotta manage that in real time. It's weird when people start crying on set, and it's not the
Or
actors in
yelling
the
at
scene.
people. I can't
Yeah,
stand it when people yell. I make it a thing where I'm like, there should be no yelling on the set unless the
yeah,
scene calls for it, because there's
yeah.
some kind of barrier that's making it hard for the actors to hear the director. But I don't think there should ever be yelling on a set unless you're Tom Cruise and everybody's watching you and some jackass is not wearing a mask. But that's a very specific situation. Um, yeah,
Um, Another thing is you just got to be transparent, as we said before. You just got to be honest about the pay, and you got to meet them where they're at, and try to be flexible with it. Try to be respectful, just because, like we said, like professional people who charge what they charge is usually for a reason, and that does affect the attitude on the set. Um, and just managing expectations. Like if you are lucky enough to get people for free, and people are down to work with you on that, like you got to give something in return. Like just say, hey, like one of the things that I would try to do early on is like, hey, I can't pay you for this, but it's an experimental project and it's going to look killer on your reel. It's going to be a standout thing visually, and that'll at least open some kind of door for you and make you stand out. And that was a lot goes a long way to a lot of people. And just be willing to give above and beyond, because yeah, some people could
yeah.
be getting more.
Before we move on to the next segment, I do want to kind of harp on the fact that it being on a film set. If you go about pre-production like we've talked about in previous episodes, it is meant to be fun. Everybody should be having a cool experience. It is hard work. It's long hours, but just because it's stressful doesn't mean you can lose your shit or be rude or disappear because you don't want to communicate and are frustrated. This is something that I learned in the military, is that even when shit hits the fan, it's the people that stay level headed that that we used to say keep the plane in the sky, but that's because I was in the helicopter. But it's not quite that. It's not life or death, but I mean, you want to be looking for calm people, people who are good problem solvers that don't have an ego. Ego is one of the biggest buzzkills, man. One bad attitude spreads real fast, and the whole crew feels it. So, vet your people. Don't just hire somebody without meeting them. Grab coffee or hop on a call and just talk to them about life for like 10 to 15 minutes and kind of get a gauge on their attitude, because that will save you later. Because
Yeah.
I think Ben and I have both worked with people that, like we said, great resume, but then on set you learn that they have a bad attitude, and that yeah, that's not fun for anybody, especially not being the person in charge, because then you're the one who everybody's looking up to deal with it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And also don't be weirded out when people want to do that to you and like suss you out and want to have the 10 to 15-minute coffee with you. Um, because they're in the same position, and it's like exciting when you meet someone like that, actually, I'd say, because now you're, you
on the
know,
same page.
yeah, on the same page, and like real recognizes real.
Oh yeah,
Um,
let's talk about where to find people.
yeah.
Something a lot of people listening are like, oh yeah, but where do I even start?
Mm. Um, this is a really fun question because I have had such an up and down journey of finding people, but like luckily for me, I think the film school background, like this is one of the biggest takeaways I got from going to Chapman, which was a fucking Facebook group called Chapman Film Connection, where it is just this it is like some people don't use Facebook anymore, but like this film group is like the only reason they will keep their Facebook. And it's just constantly posting. It's like very like, you know, it was obviously using the heyday of Facebook, so like 2015, mid 2010s, but like I have found the best DP I've ever worked with through there. And then you just got to know how to trust people. Well, once you find one person that you trust, like a really good DP, a really good AD, their recommendation really goes a long way because, again, real recognizes real. And you kind of, it just really starts with one. If you find someone that is a knockout DP, their recommendation for a sound person, producer, AD, the whole thing could be just start there. And
Yeah.
then you have mutuals with this whole team that's familiar with each other that trickles down from the DP. That's like the difference of a successful or not successful short film on one of the things I worked on, actually multiple. And I'm very grateful for that because it's just like a standard post on a Facebook group. You got to make your post as like an ad. So like throw a picture, like this is what I'm going for. So it stands out amongst like a bunch of like, you know, text only posts. And then, look through the resumes that come back to you and then you'll settle on one. But that's just one of the ways. But what do you think?
I think the first time you're gonna set out to make something, it's gonna be the hardest to find people, just because, like we were saying, real recognizes real, and when you don't have a resume, people are like, oh, why should I? I've got a resume. Why should I work with somebody who doesn't have one? So you gotta have those tough conversations and explain, like, hey, here's the situation. I'm looking for somebody that's gonna be kind of like a mentor here. It's my first time directing. A director of photography is, I would say, absolutely like the next most important thing next to the director is having somebody who can shoot it and is going to collaborate on your vision, not just be like, oh, I know what I'm doing and you don't, so I'm just going to shoot it how I want and hopefully you're happy with it. Because I've seen that happen to people and that sucks. But be honest about what your situation is, your experience level. Tell them, hey, like I also need, the rest of the camera crew and maybe a sound person. Do you think you know anybody who would work in my budget range? Things like that. And every time you do a project, it should get easier, either because you're able to bring back some of those same people because your trust with them is even stronger now, or because you've got more budget or you got more of a resume to get those people who are talented to come work with you. But yeah, Facebook, that's the first place I would look. That's a really strong place, and like I said, start with the DP and see who they can find.
Yeah.
First ADs tend to be really good too, since they're usually the ones who are on top of like crew contact lists, so they're huge for hiring people as well. That helped me a lot when my DP on around midnight was like, I've exhausted my connections for this specific position. I'm like, all right, let me talk to the first AD, and the first AD knew somebody. So it's it's again, it's filmmaking is a collaboration, and that's every step. Hiring the cast and crew is also a collaboration, and you know um trust your DP if you trust them. But if you're unsure about something, hop in a call with them, vet them. Say like, hey, like I got multiple people interested. Why should I go with you? And just
Yeah.
see what they say. You know. But yeah, there's so many different ways that you can find people to work on your crew. But I will say, it is definitely tough to get people if you don't have any budget. And if you don't have much of a budget, spend it on the people that are crucial to like I said, being able to even make the film. So a sound person and a DP. Those are at the very least what you need to in order to shoot the film and have sound. So
Correct.
start there, and then with each project and each budget, you can expand that, and you'll find those collaborators that you can trust, and you'll grow your filmmaking family, and every project will get better because of that, or in theory. But yeah, It's
Yeah,
daunting, but
it is.
it'll
Those
be
are
okay.
great. Those are great places to start. Backstage also has a film
I've been
crewing
very
thing.
maybe LA is a little different, but I know out here everybody's very weary of backstage because there's a lot of scams on there.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you got to watch out for that stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of bounce check scams actually.
Yep.
Because what they'll do is they'll try to get you to like rent equipment for a day, and they send you like a check to get it, and you show up to a place and cash the
Yeah.
check or some weird shit, and then you're in the hole for like several $1,000s. It happened to a friend of mine.
That sucks. Yeah. Yeah, it is unfortunate. I've found that with every aspect of the film industry, just like any industry out there, there's people who are gonna prey on people who are new to it and they're naive. So be very careful. Ask for help. Ask for guidance. And I mean, even if you go on Facebook and nobody's in your area, there's probably people in that group who would be like, "Yeah, I would be careful. That seems fishy," or "Yeah, that person sounds legit," or there's usually somebody who's like, "Hey, shoot me a DM. I'll help you out here." You know, the, there's a lot of cool filmmakers out there who, while they're looking for work, will also see other people, who are learning the ropes. And I mean, I've myself answered questions in like Discord and stuff when people are looking for things. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Anything you do in life, don't be afraid to ask for help. But yeah, just protect yourself. Um, unless you got anything else, mid break episode or
Yeah,
mid episode
episode.
break, mid break episode, mid episode break. I told you we're tired.
Yeah, no.
But subscribe to the Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the YouTube. You can also follow us on socials. I'm going to be posting about around midnight, Principal Photography. So definitely go follow the socials if you want to see how that's going. I'm very excited. I go by at Danny Dorito 23. Ben goes by
At Real Ben Escobar or at Genie Boy Games.
We also have a Discord server. Lots of cool people in there, always talking about movies, video games, pop culture in general. Robert Duvall just passed, R.I.P. As soon as that popped up, everybody's like, R.I.P. bro. So, if you want to come hang out, right now during the production, I'm not in there as frequently as I would like to be, but I do check in. So, yeah, come hang out in the Discord. It's free. And the Patreon is where you can support us above and beyond just joining the Discord. For as little as $1 a month, you can get access to all kinds of benefits. Like we have Hangouts. We have, for $1, we're about to do our Q&A episode next. You can submit a question every month. Let's say you have a very specific filmmaking question. We are here to help. And it's only $1. We promise we're not trying to rip off your dollar. We will give you a real answer. We're not just gonna disappear on you. Anyways, all kinds of stuff in there, man. You can be a producer on the podcast. We have 3 producer tiers. So go check it out. There's the Film Fellowship if you're a filmmaker and you want, to talk filmmaking and share experiences. There's also giveaways. We're about to announce some giveaway winners here in a second. But yeah, go support the Patreon. 15% discount if you subscribe annually. So there you go.
That's exciting.
G Fuel code Danny D. Get you some G Fuel. Fuel your filmmaking sessions. Lots of late nights as filmmakers, content creators. I mean, if you're just out there grinding, you want some clean energy to get you through those late nights. So get you some G Fuel. At the time of this episode going up, I believe there might be a couple hours left of the BOGO. Tubs are buy one, get one free. Code Danny D at checkout to give me some credit for the BOGO sale. Which, by the way, Ben, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, get the new formula. I'm not saying don't bother with the old formula, but it's on the way out. You might as well get the new one. And there's a ton of they've dropped a bunch of new formula versions of all the great flavors out there. So, I recommend Tea Bagger, that tea plus lemonade. Ben, you're still waiting on yours, huh? Because you just ordered yours.
Yeah, it's still, I don't know where it is. I mean, it said 5 to 7 business days. Whatever. I'm not trying to talk about it.
The Snake Eater. Ben recommends that one. Murder
Yes.
Corn. Yeah, there's a bunch of good flavors.
Snake Eater's
And
the first tub I've ever finished to the bottom ever,
wow,
which, yeah,
that new
crazy.
formula, man.
Dude, it's so good. I have it every day. I'm drinking it right now. It's the last one.
So smooth now. No more chalkiness.
Yep.
But if you are not sure what flavor to get, hop in the Discord and people in there will let you know what's up. And if they don't, I will. So yeah, get you some G Fuel. So every month we do a G Fuel giveaway, and this month the new Resident Evil drops, which I'm both sad but excited because I have to kind of put it off for a month while I shoot my feature film. But I love Resident Evil. It's my favorite gaming franchise outside of Call of Duty. And so this month we've got a 60 serving tub of Maiden's Blood. Ben already knows this is a great flavor.
That is my former favorite one, and then Snake Eater took the cake. But that is an incredible one.
Yeah. What is it? It's like a melon. How would you describe it? It's like a melon.
I don't even know. It's just Maiden's Blood to me, man.
It's so good though.
You know the girl on the cover? That's her blood that you're drinking.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
She's got
I
enough
just
to go
played
around
Village
the whole country
for the first time. I just finished that one because we're prepping for 9. Yeah.
I mean, 7 is. I think 7 has a cooler, maybe a cooler atmosphere and like pace to it, but man, the 8th one is so fun.
Yeah.
Get that baby sequence.
Oh yeah, crazy.
Man, I had to like pause my stream when I played through that one because it was just like haunting my ears. Yeah, it's gnarly. But anyways, we got a 60 serving tub of Maiden's Blood inspired by Resident Evil Village. This is a huge tub, man, and it is going to our boy Too Quick, who is an executive producer and a featured extra on Around Midnight. So, Too Quick, Andrew Gabor, I got you, bro. This is gonna be coming out to you soon. I'll reach out in the next 24 hours. And then I like to do physical media giveaways or, like a shaker or some sample packets, stuff like that on Discord. That is open to anybody who's subscribed to the Patreon, not like a specific tier like the G Fuel tubs are. And this month I'm giving away a special one, The Sixth Sense on Blu-ray. This is a big inspiration for Around Midnight. And I adore this movie. I think it's one of the greatest plot twists in cinema history, and that is going to Adam Sandler 56. So congratulations, Adam Sandler. Big fan of the work. But Adam Sandler.
Congratulations, Adam
congratulations.
Sandler.
I'll get that info so we can send it out to you here in the next 24 hours. All right, let's keep it moving. Next, let's talk about red flags and green flags. You want to take red flags or green flags, Ben? I'll take the other one.
Fuck it, I'll do red flags.
Okay.
Like,
this applies to cast or crew. Just to be clear, cast or crew. These red and green flags are huge.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of, you could just see the writing on the wall and just be active in looking for it, and always have a plan B and C, and be prepared for someone to drop out and fuck you over, and for people to be unreliable, because at the end of the day, no one is going to care enough and die for this project other than you. And if you find other people that you actually can sleep at night knowing they would too, then keep them closer. And that's what I think just being a journey I think that's what the journey of being an artist is finding those people and keeping them closer until you just finally can, be in a groove, But I mean, the basics. So slow replies, overpromising. If anybody promises you anything in the film industry, they're lying, because nothing is promising.
Nothing's guaranteed.
Everything's like, up in the air. I'd say like trash talking, just like, watch like, and also just like staying on task, I think is a big thing. Like if they're quick to like make jokes and like just do stories and anecdotes and like, just are very clearly distracted, you gotta like either nip it in the bud right there, or figure out a way to work around that and notice what notice what gets their attention. And I noticed that when you are doing that to somebody that has a tendency of getting distracted, they start becoming more attentive out of fear, which maybe isn't the most toxic, isn't the best way to do it because it's a little toxic, but like it's at least it's attention
That's
nonetheless.
playing mind games over here at this casting
I
crew.
mean, I've been fucking trying to make movies since I was like 10, and I'd just be desperate.
Yeah, I remember when I had like the freaking VHS camcorder, and I'm telling my little brother, I'm like, yeah, if you like jump off the couch and like land right on your head, like I'll give you a cookie. I'm just kidding.
Oh, it's like, holy shit, Chris.
I mean, that's probably the shit that I was doing. But
yeah, that's so funny. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, and also like just the way they ask questions is really important to gauge, how smart are those questions? Are they just, kind of nodding their head? Is it is what you're saying in one ear, out the other? Just always try to think ahead and be multiple steps ahead. Don't trust anybody. I know that sounds so shitty to say, but just straight up, don't trust anybody. Like you gotta like make sure if you want your project to like be 100% and bulletproof, like it's all gonna come down to you.
You should be able to trust your department heads, but yeah, I mean,
for sure,
you got to be cautious, especially when you're working with people for the first time. Don't trust them with something that's going to like make or break the film unless they can handle it and they've got the experience, and they don't give you a bunch of these red flags. But
yeah, and also just let somebody feel like a leader when you are hoping for them to like be a leader. You know what I mean? Like some people just need to be told like, hey, I think you did a great job on this. I really want you to take a lead on this because I think you're just better than me, and like really like hyping them up and letting them feel like, hey, I'm trusting you because you are good. Like it makes them feel a level of responsibility. But again, use that tactically because you need to have seen that person has demonstrated responsibility before. And so I don't know. It is a mind game, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Don't tell the PA that you just met, like, hey, here, take this $50,000 camera and go, like, walk up a ladder and, like, do some crazy shit.
I mean, if that PA is your only, like, so for whatever situation you're in there.
Like, why would you be in that situation, man?
I guess, yeah. I would do a mind game to be like, dude, you're a fucking rock star. I'm trusting you with this because, I mean, what else are you going to do?
Go ahead, bro. Break the camera. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're just here to have fun.
I mean, you kind of got to like, groom people like and make them feel good. Sorry, not groom. I mean, like you got to hype. Groom is not the right word. When I say groom, I think about like a pet. Like I'm talking about like you got to like.
That's not good either, Ben. They're not pets. They're human beings, damn it.
You got to cut this. What I mean to say is you got to just be nice and hype them up and warm them up, which I don't even know if that sounds good.
Yeah,
but whatever.
Don't make them feel like they're walking on eggshells the whole time,
Yeah.
If somebody is doing a good job, let them handle a little bit more, like it's a give and take thing. If they mess up, then they're like, hey, dude, I think maybe, should let somebody else do this specific thing until, you get more experience doing that or whatever it is. Just communicate. But is that all the red flags? Did you go through them all?
I think I definitely said some red flags. That's okay though.
Should I move on to green flags?
Yes, please.
All right. Like I was just saying, clear communication. I learned this in the military, that people repeat back the order to you to show that they understand and they communicate that they're going to go do that thing. So,
that's really good.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if somebody looks like they're out of it, you're like, dude, what did I just say? Like, what did I ask you to do? And if they're like, they're not paying attention, that's not good communication coming on their part, Luckily, I haven't run into that a whole lot. You know, people are usually pretty good at like, oh, so you want me to do this? And I'm like, yep, all right, I got you. And they leave. You know, and you're like,
Yeah.
cool, that person was listening. They should be prepared. You know, your first AD should not be showing up and going, I don't have a script, you know, or something like that. They should be prepared, man. They should have some. They should have their shit together. Because how are they going to manage what they're doing or the people under them if they don't even have their own self managed? You know,
Hmm.
they should be curious. They should ask questions. They should ask for clarification. They should be trying to support your vision, not just going, "Oh, I think I know what he said," and you know, just winging it. Like if they're not sure, they should ask for clarification. Respects the script. If somebody, and this is, I'm saying this because I've experienced it. If you're the one paying for the damn thing, you wrote it, you're directing it, they should respect that, and they should be embracing your vision, not fighting it tooth and nail every step of the way. Because that is just going to lead to, you know, bad communication. You know, if they got people under them and they're not respecting the script, then they're communicating the wrong thing to the people under them, and that affects the whole production. There are a million pieces to a set, a million moving pieces, and all it takes is one person to start turning the wrong way, and all of a sudden other gears start to turn the wrong way, and now all of a sudden something's like, you know, something doesn't feel right, and things are, you know, we got to stop and we got to address the fact that like people are not understanding what I'm trying to communicate here. Luckily, I have not really gotten into a position like that, but I have been on sets where, you know, obviously the people are not listening to the director or they don't respect the script they've written, and you can just tell, and it just gets worse and worse as it goes on. Student films tend to be like that a lot because people are like, I'm just here for a grade, man. I'm not, I don't care. And it's like, but I think that really comes down to the person who wrote the script should have wrote something that people could get excited about. You know, there's responsibility on both sides, but I mean, I think if you're a crew member, like let's say you are listening to this and you're a DP or you're a first AD, you're not the writer or the director. I mean, like I said, you should do your homework. You should read the script. You should make notes. You should ask for clarification. Hey, what's your plan for this? I mean, I was just talking to some people about a light bulb, you know, before this. Like, hey, how are we doing this specific scene? Because there's a special thing with the lights. Like, are we doing this or that? You know, those are the conversations you should be having. You shouldn't be having this for the first time on set. So, everybody should have a team first mindset. You know, it's a collaboration. This is not, you know, everybody does their own thing. Everybody's a lone wolf. No, that's not. If people aren't communicating and they're not on the same page, the finished product is going to reflect that. People can watch movies and be like, man, it's like the story's like this, but then the cinematography is not really communicating that. Like, there's a disconnect there. Like, you could just feel it when you watch movies and they're messy. It's like people were not on the same page, not working as a team, not respecting the script, not asking questions, not being prepared, not communicating clearly. All those things we just mentioned. So, um, yeah, you know, it's it's a huge endeavor to make a film, and you want to make sure that you're working with people who take it seriously. They know how to have fun, but when it's time to work, they lock in and get the job done.
Yeah. I think that point you made about repeating what you said, like from the military thing, is a really good. That's just such a good point, and I think I don't know. Like, I think there's people that do that subconsciously. I could see that as like a very like, you know, you got to do that in the military. I imagine it's something like they train you like day one to do, but like people who do that subconsciously with no military background, I think that's like a dead giveaway maybe of just a really quality, you know, team member.
Yeah, I think communication is one of the biggest things to pay attention to when you're first, you know, vetting somebody.
Yeah.
Um, and I would say one of my biggest pet peeves is trash talking. Look, when you're starting out and you're getting experience, you're gonna make mistakes.
Yeah.
People shouldn't be turning around and going, "Look at this dumbass! Like, over here thinks he's a director." You know, it's like, dude, you gotta give. And I think this is something that I'm gonna say when we start filming around midnight is like, hey, we're not. and it's not going to be perfect, but let's give each other the room to try things and really go for it. And if something doesn't work out, somebody makes a mistake, let's address it and move on. Like it's not, let's stop and waste time shit talking everybody, like let's work as a team. And that's a perfect segue into our final kind of section of this, which is having a leadership mindset.
Yeah, I think the way that you carry yourself as like a leader and like your confidence is everything on the team, because the moment you are shaking and like any kind of doubt or stutter, it could have a domino effect, because people are kind of just trusting you with, what to think and do, and down to sometimes breathing, and if you don't have an answer for every single question, and then it's gonna crack a little bit, it's gonna be less than perfect. But I think it stems to what you were saying about people who respect the script are also good team members, because you could be super, super confident about your script and, have done this big art piece, and then people are kind of like cracking jokes about it on the set, even though it's like objectively good. And like, you kind of need everyone to care about this and respect your art to make it work. Um, I mean, yeah, I've definitely been there. That sucks. That's a shitty feeling when you're like
Try,
the only one rooting for it.
if something's not working, try to contribute a solution. Don't just, poke fun at it. Like it's your
Yeah.
responsibility to speak up and say, "Hey, I don't think something's working here." Does anybody else
Yeah.
feel that way?
Yeah. And like also, yeah, just always yes and try to find a solution, But
Hmm.
I'd say your confidence and your leadership mindset, that trickles down, and everyone's going to be looking up to you like that. And you're a living accountability partner for all that. If you're not if you're not a leader that people take seriously, then why stay there? Why not just leave? Why not just throw your hands in the air and say fuck this shit, I'm out?
I mean, filmmaking is a very expensive career field. If you're going to spend a bunch of money making something, take it seriously. Show up and set the right tone. Make it clear that you have standards. Bring energy to it. Don't just, I mean, if something's not working, don't let that rub off on the rest of the crew. I mean, I don't want to say like keep that shit to yourself, but I mean, seriously, if you're the leader, like you can't be over here shaking in your boots because something you thought about isn't working. You should be trying to figure out how to make it work a different way.
Yeah,
And the crew reflects you. A calm leader equals a calm set, and that's how you protect your film.
agreed, agreed. Um,
And I think most of the stuff we talked about in this episode applies to directors, but it can also apply to department heads. And if you're an actor or you're a crew member, these are things that you need to keep in mind too, as somebody who's going to be on the other end of this. Like if there's a if there's a director and they're setting a bad example, speak up. What's the worst thing that could happen? They fire you, and then you get to miss out being on a set that's going to be a bad experience anyways, because the leader's going to make it a bad experience. Um, it's I would say as you gain experience, you really need to think about the projects you take on and weigh the pros and cons. Is this am I taking this on just because I don't have anything else to do, or could I be putting that time into making my own project, or am I trying to get experience in a specific field? You know, um, I think another thing to watch out for is I've seen people who double book. You ever had that happen?
yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
make sure people are not agreeing to do your project, but they're also doing another project and they overlap because they can't be in two places at once. I've had that happen, and it's really sucks to be on the end of that where you're like, dude, I need this person, and they weren't truthful about their availability. Um, they should. That was one of the red flags was not having clear availability. If they can't tell you like, hey, yes, I'm available these dates, I'll sign a deal memo that says that. If they can't commit, I wouldn't commit to hiring them. You know, so um, I mean, we could literally talk about experiences for days, but if you want to hear more about those experiences, subscribe to the Patreon. Join us for the film fellowship.
This is a
Talk
good
about
Q and
whatever you
A
want.
episode question.
Yeah, that's true. Next episode, we're going to be doing our February Patreon Q&A. Again, it's $1 to ask a question every month. Could be about whatever you want, preferably filmmaking related or movie related or TV or whatever. You know, it shouldn't be like, hey, what's your favorite thing for breakfast, Danny? Like, I don't. I'm going to be like, the fuck is this question, man?
That's so good. That's so good.
Yeah. But I mean, we haven't had questions like that, luckily. Every time they're pretty thoughtful. Yeah, like Too Quick's gonna be like, hey, what's your favorite thing for breakfast, bro? Yeah, let's kind of wrap this up. What's one cool thing that's happened since the last episode, Ben, in your life?
I booked a showcase for my game. It's like a BYOG at GDC, so I'm gonna be like playing the game at this place, at this bar with like a bunch of other games.
That's cool.
And yeah, it'll be on a TV, and it'll be my first time like showcasing a game, so I'm excited about that. And I added I hit the point of the process for this one that I'm making for the jam. It's releasing in 2 weeks. Actually, I didn't even realize like it's technically releasing in 2 weeks. But
the game is,
yeah, it's a small game. It's going to be like an hour long. But the big one that you played, Sweetheart, that's going to be a little bit longer. But this
I mean, dude, Iron Lung was like 40 minutes, and that dude turned it into a whole movie. I wouldn't underestimate it just because of the time.
Sweet. Okay. Well, yeah, it's going to be like Iron Lung size, I think. But
by the way, that shit's almost made 50 million. Holy shit, bro!
Congrats to that fucking guy. That's insane.
I hope he keeps making movies.
Yeah, same. I made a controller compatibility for this game, and that changed everything. And it was so cool because it was like, oh wow, this is the way to play the game. And I think I have something special and good on my hands here, and like the vibration of it all, like that was just a really cool moment, and I'm like kind of riding that high. So I'm excited to release that in 2 weeks and hopefully have it be good. But yeah.
Hell yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, let's see. One cool thing since last episode. So much has happened.
Yeah, I bet.
Got the group thank you video out. That was very emotional.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I have not watched it yet. I want to though.
You son of a bitch.
It's like half an hour, isn't it?
No, it's like 12 minutes, 13 minutes, I think.
I'm sorry. I'll watch that after this then.
You piece of... No, I'm just kidding. We're busy people. I understand. But yeah, no, it's very emotional. I cried in it. But one thing coming up this week, I'll start. I mean, we are going to the main house and we are going through the shot list and finalizing that and reducing shots where we can and making sure that the film feels dynamic and like, you know, the limited equipment we have doesn't, you know, limit the energy and pacing of the cinematography. So, I mean, we went and scouted the coffee shop this last week, and that was awesome, man. It was really cool to like be there and like really like it's funny because I had gotten my hair cut at this next to this coffee shop for like a year, and then that hair place moved, and I go in there to scout this place, and all of a sudden I like walk over to this room and I'm like, what the fuck? They took the wall down, and now the hair place is like another room that's a part of the coffee shop. So we're gonna be like hanging out as like the crew staging area in the place that I got my hair cut for a year. That's so weird.
Wow. That's cool.
It's very weird. Like coincidence, you know? It's funny how things work out. But yeah, what's one thing you got coming up?
I am doing playtesting for the game this weekend for friends and family.
Hell yeah.
Don't have a solid date yet. The goal is like Saturday, Sunday. I mean, hey, hit me up on Discord if you want to fucking play the game. I'll have it ready, but I'm not gonna be like too public about it. Maybe I'll make an Instagram post, but like,
yeah, don't stream yourself playing the game, right?
Yo, that's actually a funny idea. Why didn't I consider that? Anyway, I'll yeah, we should
I should be on the marketing team for this game, Ben.
yeah. I've been so overwhelmed. I mean, I'm trying
I
to
feel you.
do so many things, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to get feedback for the first time, and I have a whole form I built out with Google Forms, and I'm excited to hopefully get some good feedback or get torn apart or whatever the fuck. But
It's your first
um,
game. I mean, like,
yeah,
I don't think anybody's expecting freaking, uh, I don't know, Death Stranding or some shit right out of the gate. You know, it's like,
it's
and
PT
you said it's an
inspired,
hour.
so.
It's oh really?
Yeah, so if you like PT, it's like very
Oh
much like a
shit!
homage to PT. It's going to be very scary like PT, I hope.
I'm gonna poop my pants playing this game, Ben.
Potentially. It's pretty fucking
Oh,
it's pretty
shit.
pretty scary at some points. Like when I'm testing it, like I got jump scared a few times. It's nice. Um yeah, no, it's like a pretty straight up horror, but
Cool, man. I'm
that's out
excited.
there. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, I haven't been asking more questions about it. Obviously, with everything else going on, but
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm stoked to play it, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
I might even play it before Resident Evil. That's how much I care.
Oh, thank you. That'd be
Um,
sweet.
but yeah, thank you to our Patreon supporters for supporting us another month. I'm going to talk about it more in the next episode, but we are going to be taking our end of season 1 break here for the month of March and probably into like mid-April because I'm going to travel. My grandfather had a heart attack in December, and so taking the kids to go, see him, see the grandparents, and visit the hometown. Maybe go to like the San Diego Zoo or something, just kind of decompress after the shoot. But we're gonna come back strong with season 2 of the podcast, and continue talking about pre-production and principal photography. That first episode back will definitely be like all about how Around Midnight went. So
Yeah.
get ready for that. It's gonna be
It's
awesome.
exciting.
But yeah, thank you to our supporters. Thank you for listening or watching the show. And yeah, I mean, being less than 2 weeks away from shooting, it's pretty surreal. But I feel good. I feel good. I feel confident. I feel
Good.
like we're doing our due diligence with preparation, and excited to bring something special for you guys to see. You know, and I'm excited to work with Ben on set. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
same.
fun.
I'm excited to act for the first time in a long time. I don't have any lines though, but that's probably a good thing because I think
You did originally, but then the
Yes.
schedule thing, yeah. But
Maybe a happy
you were gonna.
accident.
People are gonna be like, God damn, who was that guy who just came in and like looked at the menu?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Get that guy an Oscar. Was that Timothy Chalamet? No. But yeah, no, it's gonna be awesome. Make sure you're following the socials so you can see updates on Around Midnight and on Ben's game. So,
Thanks, man.
as always, I'm Derek J. Bowder,
I am Ben Escobar.
and this is the Fellowship of the Script. Thank you for listening. Keep creating, keep pushing, keep telling stories that matter. See you next time.
See you next time.